Not all of us take a chance on ourselves and our ideas, and I want you to do that. Which is why I want to tell you about our amazing sponsor at Fresh Start Ventures.
Fresh Start Ventures is a VC connector that started off as a blog, which now provides you everything you need for your startup, whether that be financial assistance, strategic help, or any other sort of mentorship that you require to get your idea to the next level.
Fresh Start Ventures is also aligned with the Pakistan e-commerce consortium, meaning they are the perfect people to go to in order to understand the vastly changing world that we live in when it comes to technology and e-commerce rapidly evolving every day.
Fresh Start Ventures has helped a bunch of startups get from their ideation stage all the way to the top, where they've consolidated themselves as top-notch businesses who have won laurels and awards in the industry.
If you truly believe in your idea and the only thing missing is support and some kind of financial backing in the long run, Fresh Start Ventures is your place to go, so please don't hesitate in reaching out to them today.
Visit www.freshstart.pk or the link in our bio.
And give your idea a fresh start. Let's get on with the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pakistan's #1 football show on YouTube, because I have the guy who hosts Pakistan's #1 football show on mainstream television. It is Mr. Altamish Jiwa. Thank you so much for coming on. He is the host of I don't need to introduce you. If you're watching my show, you probably watch Kickoff on PTV Sports. He has also worked for CNN, Dawn, and a host of other news networks. Altamish bhai, thank you so much for coming on. पहले तो मैं आपसे एक वो नहीं होता ग्रेड 7 में जो हम सवाल करते थे, आपकी फेवरेट टीम कौन सी है?
Thanks to Ismail and to your team. I gather the gentleman behind the camera as well. Unko bhi salam, and of course to all your viewers. Thank you so much for having me. I watched a few of your shows as well, and I guess this is the future what you're doing. So I think I need to learn from you and people like you. And the nice thing is that people in Pakistan, so many younger people doing so much now. Digital media they're covering sports. It's a great landscape right now, and it's a good time for sports.
Yeah.
And inshallah, आगे जाके हम Pakistan sports की बात करेंगे. So look forward to that. Having said that, my favorite teams, there are a few different countries, and again football specifically. My father actually came to Pakistan in 1970 from England, and so उनके जो boyhood club, so that was Manchester United. So उन्हीं इस चीज़ को आगे लेते हुए I've been to United. But उसके साथ साथ because वो इंग्लैंड से थे हम, क्योंकि हमारा वहाँ जाना बहुत ज़्यादा होता था. So I don't know, I have this love for West Ham United, and I really get happy when they do well, and even the tough times for them as well. It's good.
I mean, two pretty different clubs.
Yeah, and then I really enjoy watching Celtic, supporting Celtic. Although last year was very bad, and given how the management is running that club at the moment, I don't see Celtic performing the way they have been in the past many years. The Rangers have definitely taken over, and they will be dominating in Scotland. So we'll see. Baki over in Europe, I really enjoy Borussia Dortmund. And this German football is very interesting, not just on the pitch, off the pitch, and how the fans are actually part owners of every club, and their model, the way they run their football. So really enjoy that. In Karachi, of course, I was lucky enough that when we were in school, we saw this young club blossom, starting off actually Karachi United.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Karachi United. Yeah, it's great. So अब मैं ना काफ़ी फ़नी बात है कि आपसे तकरीबन उलट हूँ, बिकॉज जैसे ही आपने यूनाइटेड का मैंने कहा हो मसला पड़ गया, बिकॉज आई एम अ लिवरपूल फ़ैन. एंड जब आपने सेल्टिक का तो मैंने कहा वो एक और मसला पड़ गया, क्योंकि रेंजर्स में स्टीवन जेरार्ड है. तो I mean, not off to a good start, but I think we'll make it work. United की अगर हम specifically बात करें अल्तमिश भाई, how do you see it going currently?
Hold you there. I'm a big Jurgen Klopp fan, regardless that he's.
Oh, nice. I mean, you can't hate the guy.
Since Borussia Dortmund days, उससे पहले वो Mainz में होते थे.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think he's some guy who only probably Gerrard can replace him, no one else, because he is virtue. He is Liverpool basically. He's like a club, and जो उन्होंने किया है club के साथ. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. एक और news चल रही है. I mean, since we're talking about European clubs, Lionel Messi जो है वो PSG चले गए and like a crazy few days in European football. What's your take on the whole situation? I mean, you've been watching and reporting on football and broadcasting on football for so long. ऐसी एक saga जो out of nowhere आई है और उसने पूरी यूरोप को grip कर लिया था. What's your takeaway from the whole thing?
I just really hope that they finally win the Champions League. If they don't, God knows if they ever have a chance. With Messi, obviously, Messi being Messi, without a doubt, I mean, कोई argument ही नहीं ना वहाँ पे जिसकी जो quality है Messi की जो वो player है वो खुद हैं. And having named Mbappe, and then पीछे उनके Di Maria होंगे.
Ramos आ गया. Ramos is playing in the same team as Messi.
And then they've done a rumor. Now, if with this team they still don't win, I don't know what.
And they have Pochettino. I mean, I for one love Mauricio Pochettino. मुझे लगता है कि वो like he's a great manager. तो I think chance तो काफ़ी होना चाहिए. वही है कि ना हुआ तो it's going to be a pretty sad story. I mean, वही वाली बात आ जानी है कि फलाना fraud है, फलाना वो है, वो आपको पता ही है, वो इंटरनेट पे ही चल रहा होता है आजकल. But speaking of the Premier League, you said you're a United fan. United, I mean, I think you'd be pretty happy with the transfer window. I mean, Chelsea and United have been strengthening. So what's your take on Jadon Sancho? What's your take on Rafa Varane? I mean, do you think title challenge का scene है?
It could be there, because if it's not there, then there'll be a big question mark on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because उन्हीं की I think कल रात की statement है शायद वो यही कह रहे हैं कि this time the Premier League is going to be one of the toughest leagues this time around, given the changes in stopping and changes in the start of the season होने जा रहा है. And but on the contrary, he's also said that I couldn't have asked more from my board and from my management. So the board and management हर चीज उनको दे रहा है, और वो टाइटल चैलेंज नहीं कर सके तो फिर उनके ऊपर बहुत ही सवाल निशान बन जाएगा. नो डाउट ही इज अ लेजेंड एट द क्लब, एंड वो कुछ भी करेंगे तो एक जो उनका एज अ प्लेयर जो स्टार्टस है वो तो रहेगा. बट अगेन there will be a big question mark here. Why was he hired and why was he given so much time? The board never showed so much patience with David Moyes and then Van Gaal and then Mourinho. इनके साथ patience होती गई है, तो इतना बड़ा ट्रांसफर किटी इस दफा पेंडेमिक के दौर में दी गई है कि वरान भी आए हैं, सांचो भी आए हैं. Although again, let's see 31st तक the window खुला हुआ है. हर वक्त खबरें आती हैं कि पॉग्बा हैं, पॉग्बा नहीं रहेंगे. So pretty much I think he should be there and they should challenge for it definitely. City का मुझे थोड़ा सा मुश्किल इस दफा इसलिए लग रहा है क्योंकि that central striker जो है उनका पिछले सीजन तो बड़ा tactfully उन्होंने कर दिया था वहाँ पे false nine खिला के, but he knows exactly what's going on. और अभी फिर से Man City हारा है and you're seeing that kind of lacking that instinct up front. Aguero भी जा चुके हैं, although पिछले सीजन तो वो वैसे भी उन्होंने injuries थी.
Yeah, he hardly ever played last season.
Chelsea definitely want to watch for Kal the way they won the Super Cup. And one point which I'd like to mention here is कि Tuchel के आने से एक टीम में जो हार्मनी नजर आ रही है, या जो फॉर एग्जांपल जब सारी थे एंड कैपा का जो सीन हुआ था जिसके बाद उनको साइडलाइन कर दिया गया था, कल मेंडी गोल में आता है, बड़े अच्छा ट्रांजिशन होता है, कैपा comes and takes position to keep the penalties. So again, that Tuchel effect and the fact that he's already won, I think in 31 matches, he's won 2 major trophies.
Yeah.
Chelsea would definitely be one team to watch out for.
Yeah. I think you've summed it up perfectly because Chelsea तो I think जब से Tuchel आया, because उन्होंने पिछले साल भी इतनी investment की थी, and I sort of thought कि for 2 reasons they might struggle. Some people were saying that they're going to catch up to City or Liverpool जिस level पे थे उससे पहले, and I was sort of skeptical because I thought कि पहले तो Frank Lampard wasn't a proven manager at that point कि वो Klopp और Pep Guardiola के level पे compete कर सके. And दूसरा, when you bring in, and I think we've seen this over the years, when you bring in so many new players at the same time, तो it takes a while for them to gel in and to settle and to get that chemistry going. तो उनको ये बड़े मसले हुए थे और बाद में Tuchel के आने के बाद जाके वो सेट हुए. उससे पहले they were struggling pretty badly. And United, I think I 100% agree, but I would slightly tweak it in the sense that I think having a title challenge is sort of dependent on the other teams. के for example अगर City या कोई भी टीम अगर 99 पॉइंट्स ले लेती है जिस तरह सिटी और लिवरपूल ले रहे थे, then if United finish at let's say 90, they're not technically challenging for the title, but I would say it's a successful season. I would I would think anything above 86, 87 points they have to get. I mean, 86 and 85 se niche liye, so for me it's sort of an underwhelming season considering the firepower that they have. Because do you agree that I think now they have the best attack on paper in the league? Like, agar aap depth dekhein, the number of players and the quality that they have, I don't think it can be matched by anyone right now.
I would say there are, like, for example, अब जैसे चेल्सी की हम बात करते हैं जिस फॉर्म के अंदर हैं, they definitely have the potency up front. Liverpool too still
now
have
they
that
have Lukaku. Yeah, Lukaku के साथ now it's there. I think they're matching United. Liverpool का I think वो front three बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन उसके बाद जोटा भी अच्छा है, लेकिन जो United और चेल्सी का मैंने एक पूरा वो लिस्ट देखी थी ना of attacking talent, it's like crazy. I mean, they have like 5-6 class players ready to come in, and I don't know. I mean,
how they perform. Like पिछले season में देखा कि their away form was excellent. But then that's the thing, we have to see how they perform on the pitch. And उसके साथ साथ Rashford is going to be out for I think 12 weeks when the season starts. So ये भी है. Of course, as number 10, Bruno is fantastic, but Bruno ने इतनी matches खेले, and then of course he was there in the Euros as well. So let's see how the season takes off. पहला match Leeds के साथ है. पिछले season पहला match Leeds और Liverpool का था. That really set the tone given the
it was a crazy match. Yeah.
You think how this could. I have immense respect for Bielsa, Marcelo Bielsa.
I mean, honestly, yeah, definitely.
That'll be a good start to see where United actually stand. That's Manchester United.
Yeah,
the Leeds fan would say that they are the
proper rivalry bhi hai unki. I mean, I don't need to tell you you're a United fan. It's a nice tone setter for the season. I mean, more than Liverpool versus Leeds of last season, United versus Leeds is a proper like derby. Udhar ki jo hai. So. What do you think about Liverpool though? Pishle season, a lot of, like, obviously they struggled because of the centre backs and everything, and I think people are writing them off a bit too much this season. कि वो कुछ भी नहीं करेंगे, वो बस खत्म हो गए हैं. What's your take on the whole thing?
I would never write off. I would never write off any Jurgen Klopp team because I believe in two things. It's not just quality on paper, but it's actually your performance and your psychological ability. And जो Klopp साहब हैं, the strength he instills in all his players' minds. क्योंकि आप majority देखें जो superstars बहुत कम वो लाए हैं. The players who he got in became superstars at Liverpool. साला को देख लें, वो पूरा हर जगह खेल खाल के जब Liverpool आया उसके बाद he became what he became, right? Sadio Mane again, he became someone after coming to Liverpool. So जो Klopp की जो एक mentality है, तो what he instills in his players, that's why I respect him so much. I would never write off any Jurgen Klopp team.
Yeah.
कोई भी टीम हो अगर Klopp is on the wheel or is at the head of that team, I would never write off that team because the mentality instilled in all his players. I don't know if we got that point in of how the majority of the players who've done very well for Liverpool have not been superstars. He brought in players, seeing again their data and analysis, and again having this belief, he got them in. And then the way they performed and became superstars, like Salah went all over Europe without being Mohamed Salah, but he became that when he came to Liverpool. Sadio Mane became Sadio Mane after Liverpool with having Klopp as a boss. Firmino could take lane. I think the big signing they did was of that goalkeeper of Alisson. वो एक बड़ी signing थी.
Yeah. That was needed. I think goalkeeper बेचारा अगर आपका अच्छा ना हो, then even Jurgen Klopp or Guardiola or Alex Ferguson can't do much about it because you're always leaking from the back. तो आप जितनी मर्जी tactically या psychologically अपनी team को बेहतर कर लो, they're always going to be susceptible. So there was obviously an investment that's needed. But yeah, I think more people should sort of take heed.
I would never write off a Jurgen Klopp team, and I think Liverpool is definitely going to be there as well, challenging for the title. And now they have to, given the standards they've set for themselves. Not much has changed in the team. It's pretty much the same team, barring one or two inclusions. So of course, Klopp and the fans will be behind them, and they will be challenging for the title as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think Anfield jo empty. I think every team obviously got impacted by a lack of fans in the stadium, but some teams I think got impacted more. And Klopp teams उसमें I think ऊपर आती हैं. अगर Borussia Dortmund के आप fans निकाल दो तो बड़ा फ़र्क पड़ेगा. Similarly, Liverpool के fans निकाल दो फ़र्क पड़ा है. And then you put on the unbelievably weird injury problems जो कि आप like उसके odds बहुत crazy हैं. आपके 5 center back एक time पे injure हुए हैं. So I think I definitely agree with you that it's going to, I think we're going to see a jump. Let's see where they end up. But Altamish भाई, usually लोग पूछते हैं आप prediction दें जी title कौन जीतेगा. I am just going to ask you, what are your predictions generally, gut feelings for the season? And you know, obviously since they're gut feelings, It doesn't matter if they're wrong or right in the end, but I just want to get a sense of what you're thinking going into the new season. As a United, you can even talk as a United fan. I mean, it's open to you.
Really, what I try to do is I try to keep my team always on the side, being the host. One thing I've learned from my seniors is वो तो कभी आपने mention करना ही नहीं.
Yeah, for sure. मैंने कहा आज आप होस्ट नहीं है तो मैं लोगों को आपसे पूछूंगा, आपके अपने दिल की भी बात करें थोड़ी. इतने सालों से आपने उसको साइड पे रखा है.
I'll ask you, does it ever show on my show that I mentioned?
No. That's why I asked.
Thanks.
That's why I asked. Yeah. No, that's why I thought कि आज मैं आपको थोड़ी सी रेस्पाइट देता हूँ कि आप आज खुल के यूनाइटेड की बात कर लें जो आपने करनी है, वरना फिर आप ऑब्वियसली शो पे यू हैव टू like you keep that to the side. But generally, just what are your gut feelings for the season generally?
क्या कहते हैं, City are not able to secure Harry Kane or an out-and-out striker. क्योंकि बात ये भी आती है maybe Lewandowski, but I don't see him leaving Bayern, and I don't see Bayern selling him given the fact that they're already struggling with Nagelsmann जब से आए हैं. I don't see City at that level. I can be completely wrong, but City मुझे लग रहा है कि struggle करेगी इस दफा this time around. But for me, I think given how strong Chelsea is, and again, it's all about the momentum they're carrying forward. Maybe it's going to be Chelsea's year once again with United obviously up there, and with City and obviously Liverpool as well challenging for the title.
Right. So we're going to see a top four basically, जो पुराने वक्तों का होता था, because I think that's what we're seeing now. These four are going to break away from the rest. बाकी Arsenal तो खैर बेचारी बहुत ही पीछे रह गई, but Tottenham भी थोड़ा they've broken away from the top.
Let's see.
So yeah.
What I'm really looking forward to is actually enjoying Brentford and Leeds once again, and let's see what Brentford does. I really think.
And Brighton, for me, I'd love to watch Brighton, like Graham Potter. और Leeds versus Brighton एक मैच होता था जो मैं for sure 2 दफ़ा मैंने पिछले सीजन देखा था, because it was just a great न्यूट्रल, लाइक कोई मेरा वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. आई डोंट केयर हु इज़ गोइंग टू विन. बहुत कम मैचेस होते हैं इस तरह के, क्योंकि यूजुअली यूनाइटेड सिटी इनके मैच अब जब आप देख रहे होते हो, यू वांट द रिजल्ट टू गो अ सर्टेन वे. सो या आई मीन दैट वाज डेफिनेटली ए मैच जो वाज परफेक्ट फॉर द न्यूट्रल्स. आई थिंक इट्स ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉक अबाउट पाकिस्तानी फुटबॉल. आपने अपने शो पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा कवर किया अबाउट the normalization committee problems, the Ashfaq group issues जो आए थे. उसके अंदर obviously we both know what happened, but just to recap for like a few seconds, it's basically normalization committee जो थी Pakistan Football Federation की, Ashfaq group took over the PFF headquarters, and now it has since assumed control of the whole thing. और उसके बाद से अभी तक यही situation चल रही है कि अशफाक ग्रुप जो हैं वो PFF हेडक्वार्टर्स के अंदर हैं. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट द होल थिंग? आई मीन you've covered it pretty extensively, but what's your takeaway from how the situation is in Pakistani football right now?
2015 से जो पता नहीं किसी की पूरी नजर लग गई हमारी गेम के ऊपर, although it goes further back. Pakistan football has never been in those hands that have actually worked towards making the football progress. It's always been in the hands of people who've always seen their own benefit, be it short term, medium term or long term. लेकिन at least 2003 से 15 तक फुटबॉल हो रही थी. 2015 के बाद जो नजर लगी हमारी फुटबॉल को, पता नहीं क्या हम करें कि ऐसा टाइम आए कि फ्री फ्लोइंग फुटबॉल चलती रहे, चाहे वो कोई भी चला रहे. तो मेंस टीम हो, वुमेन्स टीम हो, उनको फुटबॉल में मिलती रहे. हम हमारी टीम को सपोर्ट करते हैं. The saddest part is because you follow football so closely. The 2018 World Cup, Syria was on the cusp of qualifying for the main draw. All they had to do was get past Australia. उसमें भी एक मैच draw था, वो एक मैच हारे and they didn't make it. Syria has been in a civil war since 2011. Their players, some trained in Malaysia, some trained in Qatar. आप खुद सोचें, half the team was pro-Assad, half the team was anti-Assad. फिर भी पहुंच गए. हमारे पास तो ऐसे कोई issues नहीं है. फिर problem क्या है? It's just कि नियतें साफ नहीं है. सब one to all, सब ने अपना ही मफाद देखना है. Players का कोई नहीं सोचता. How many players have aged out? The saddest part is जिन लोगों ने पूरी जिंदगी अपनी लगा दी to play this beautiful game, today they've been aged out. And the unfortunate part is there are only a few clubs which actually hire these people as coaches and support staff, वरना वो भी opportunities नहीं है. तो अल्लाह खैर करे. हम दुआ करते हैं कि भाई good people, अच्छे लोगों के हाथ में हमारी फुटबॉल है. and football hoti rahe. That's all we care about. That's it, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I think you hit the nail on the head right there because मेरा भी यही मौक़िफ़ है कि आई थिंक अच्छे बंदे की हम उम्मीद करते रहेंगे तो पता नहीं कितना टाइम लग जाएगा. वो हमने देख लिया कि अच्छा बंदा इतने आराम से नहीं आता. आई डोंट रियली हैव एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ ऑब्वियसली अभी वाले एनसी वाले इश्यूज़ को आप साइड पे करें, बट आई डोंट हैव एनी प्रेफरेंस के कौन से किस नाम का बंदा ऊपर बैठा हुआ है, कौन है. सो ऑल आई वांट इज़ दैट फुटबॉल इज़ अलाउड टू फ्लो. जिन लोगों ने फ़ुटबॉल चलानी है उनको फ़ुटबॉल चलानी दी जाए और फुटबॉलर्स को जो है वो फुटबॉल एक्टिविटी मिलती रहे. दैट्स ऑल आई केयर अबाउट. आई थिंक ऑल द एवोल्यूशन दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सी इन पाकिस्तानी फुटबॉल इज़ गोइंग टू कम विद एक्टिविटी, इज़ गोइंग टू कम विद रेगुलर फुटबॉल. ज़्यादा खेलेंगे, ज़्यादा टीवी पे आएगा, ज़्यादा बात होगी, ज़्यादा इम्प्रूवमेंट आएगी. और जितना ये रुकेगा उतने ही ज़्यादा करियर्स ख़त्म होंगे, उतने ही ज़्यादा लोगों की ड्रीम्स ख़त्म होंगी. एंड आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट अ वेरी बैड सिचुएशन. हाउ डू यू सी दिस प्लेइंग आउट दो? ये आपको क्या लगता है अब क्या होगा? अशफाक ग्रुप तो हिलने से इनकार कर रही है, फीफा भी अब ऑब्वियसली वो अपनी जगह बैठे हुए हैं. सो हाउ डू यू सी दिस प्लेइंग आउट?
एक चीज़ मैं थोड़ी सी इसमें ऐड ये करूँगा. 2018 में जब वेस्ट इंडीज़ की टीम ने पाकिस्तान का दौरा किया था क्रिकेट टीम में, तो कमरान खान साहब ने सरफराज वाज आवर कैप्टन बैक देन, सरफराज को उन्होंने अपने शो पे लिया, उनसे पूछा कि अब तो भाई पाकिस्तान में बहाली हो गई है, क्रिकेट की इंटरनेशनल टीम्स आ रही हैं, सो हाउ डू यू सी दिस, हाउ डू यू सी क्रिकेट नाउ गोइंग फॉरवर्ड इन पाकिस्तान. तो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग सरफराज अहमद सेड, एंड ही सेड दैट वो तो ठीक है कि इनकी टीम आ गई है एंड इट्स अ वेरी गुड साइन, बट फॉर मी व्हाट आई पर्सनली फील इज दैट कोई भी स्पोर्ट उठा लें, उसकी जो रूट्स होती हैं वो होती हैं ग्रास रूट, जो बेसिकली ग्रास रूट जो उसका फाउंडेशन होता है. और ग्रास रूट्स पे जो बच्चे फुटबॉल खेल रहे हैं, एंड द रीजन व्हाई आई से दिस एंड आई गिव दिस एग्जांपल इज क्योंकि डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट कि पाकिस्तान की फुटबॉल जिस टर्मोइल से गुजरी है, पीपल आर स्टिल कमिंग टुवर्ड्स इट स्पोर्ट. वो टीवी पे देख रहे हैं, आप जैसे लोग शोज कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर, हम भी शोज कर रहे हैं, इंटरेस्ट बहुत ज्यादा है. तो डिस्पाइट वट एवर इज गोइंग ऑन, द इंटरेस्ट इज इमेंस इन दिस गेम. थोड़ा सा डायरेक्शन मिल जाए तो बहुत बहुत अच्छा सीन हो सकता है पाकिस्तान की फुटबॉल का. So let's hope and pray for that. And then coming to your question, how I'm seeing this play out, I am just seeing this being dragged on and on and on. अभी तो फिलहाल बैन लगा हुआ है, मेरे ख्याल से आराम से कुछ महीने इसमें और निकल जाएंगे, and उसके बाद hopefully sanity will prevail and all these people will again sit down, get their heads together. फीफा इन्वॉल्व होगा एंड कोई इसमें सोल्यूशन निकलेगा जिसमें ये सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स को कोई ना कोई जो है एक उनको मुतमईन करके एक वे फॉरवर्ड दिया जाएगा कि ठीक है भाई फिर से हम इस चीज़ को बहाल करते हैं. बट आई डोंट सी द बैन बीइंग लिफ्टेड एनी टाइम सून. अगेन आई कैन बी कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग, बट द वे थिंग्स आर, सब ने अपने कोने पकड़े हुए हैं, नो वन इज विलिंग टू बच एंड फीफा इज हैप्पी. उनको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता, उनको वैसे 200 और मुल्क हैं जो चलाने हैं, उनको हम उससे क्या यहाँ पे जो है चार लोग आपस
या और वो भी 201st रैंकिंग वाला मुल्क जो है वो सबसे ज़्यादा मसला डाल रहा है. मतलब कि कोई है कुछ है भी नहीं है और हम देखें नखरे हमारे चेक करें कि हम क्या, फीफा जो है वो भी परेशान होगा कि यार क्या मुल्क हमने जो है ना वो अपने ज़िम्मे ले लिया. सो इट्स जस्ट अ वेरी सैड सिचुएशन बिकॉज अभी इस सारे टेक ओवर वगैरह से पहले say what you will about the normalization committee, I was just so happy that football activity was ongoing, that we were seeing players happy with the activity, players happy with the organization. Social media पे इतना ज़्यादा जो था वो hype बन रही थी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता, then it all just went to, you know, it went belly up. But yeah, 100%.
These guys did a fantastic job. पिछले 6-7 महीनों में, एक साल में उन्होंने बड़ा अच्छा इसको कवरेज दी थी, स्पेशली थ्रू सोशल मीडिया. बहुत ही इंटरेस्ट आ गया था मेंस एंड वुमेन्स गेम के अंदर. सो एंड नाउ दिस ग्रुप इज वेल, अशफाक शाह साहब का जो ग्रुप है वो आई थिंक परसों से उनकी लीग स्टार्ट हो रही है. होप दैट दे कैन garner the same kind of backing and attention which the players deserve, and let's see the players get the best in their
definitely
leagues as well.
So we're going to be covering the Pakistan Premier League that's starting on 14th August by Ashfaq Shah's PFF faction, and we're going to bring whatever we can, like we did with the National Challenge Cup, like we did with the Women's Championship, and I hope it's going to be a great football activity. Altamish bhai, let's move on now to sports reporting and broadcasting in Pakistan. You're one of the leading voices in the country. Certainly football के हिसाब से I think I mean it's sort of I mean, you would agree, it's sort of sad that you're the only, I think, main football show on mainstream TV right now in Pakistan. So I have two questions, but they both start the same way. I mean, why? The first thing is, why do you think you're the only mainstream football show in Pakistan? And the second one is, why did you decide to host the only mainstream football show in Pakistan?
The reason why there's only one at the moment, I think it's very unfortunate, and it's something which I've been fighting for a while, because I've been in broadcast media for almost 14-15 years now. And हमारी एक ही फाइट हर वक्त मैनेजमेंट के साथ यही रही है कि प्लीज गिव मोर एयर टाइम टू स्पोर्ट्स, एंड प्लीज डू रियलाइज दैट आप लोगों को जो आपकी सेल्स या मार्केटिंग टीम बताती है कि स्पोर्ट्स की रेटिंग नहीं आती क्रिकेट के अलावा, दैट इज नॉट ट्रू. पीपल लव स्पोर्ट्स इन एवरी स्पोर्ट. आप स्पोर्ट्स को अगर प्रोग्रामिंग को टाइम देंगे, पीपल विल वॉच इट एंड कमर्शियली भी आपके लिए वायबल रहेगा. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द owners, channel owners, they don't see it that way. And unfortunately, what you see on your TV screens now is only politics from 7 to 12. It's all चार लोगों को बिठाओ लड़वाओ and एक घंटा पूरा हो गया, आपका thought पूरा हो गया, and you're happy with that. So that is the long and short of that. We've been fighting for a very long time. Not just for football, every sport which is played or watched or followed in Pakistan should be given airtime. Olympics का हाल देखें, और ये हाल इसीलिए है क्योंकि कोई तवज्जो देता नहीं है. अगर ये चीज़ कवर हो रही होती मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया के ऊपर हर रोज़ के, नॉट इवन हर रोज़ के, एक मैं तो कहता हूँ महीने में एक प्रोग्राम दे दें मेन जो चैनल्स हैं, उस पर ये इश्यूज डिस्कस किए जाएं कि ये फेडरेशन का हाल क्या बना हुआ है, क्यों हो रहा है, इतनी फंडिंग बाहर से आती है, होता क्या है उसका, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. सो हमारे जो मालिकान हैं, चैनल ओनर्स हैं, जो डिसीजन मेकर्स हैं, दे हैव टू लुक दिस वे. अदरवाइज डोंट क्वेश्चन कि हमारी स्पोर्ट्स क्यों इतनी पीछे है. It's as simple as that. That would be my answer. कि that's the main thing. कि ऊपर से जो है जो sales marketing में दिखा देती है, नहीं जी क्रिकेट नहीं तो बिकेगा नहीं. I completely disagree with that. Sports, people love sports. और अगर आप उसको 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock का टाइम दे दें, half an hour का टाइम दे दें, अच्छी चीजें दिखाएं और सिर्फ हमारी स्पोर्ट्स डिस्कस करें, बहुत व्यूअरशिप आएगी. And
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree 100%, because pehle when I started doing the show, I was focusing on European football and English Premier League और ये सब कुछ. But then I sort of pivoted जब पाकिस्तान फुटबॉल में एक्टिविटी शुरू हुई थोड़ी बहुत, so I pivoted towards Pakistani football. और जो उसके बाद रिस्पॉन्स आया, आई थिंक दैट्स अमेजिंग. एंड आई थिंक हमने जो PFF जो अभी हम बात कर रहे थे, सोशल मीडिया पे जो हाइप बनी थी, दैट आई थिंक इज़ प्रूफ of the fact that Pakistani public and Pakistani football fans want local content, local heroes, local athletes, which they can relate to, और वो उनके पास नहीं है. And I'm sure this is the case outside of football as well. But I would just like to play devil's advocate with you for a minute and sort of suggest maybe it's like a chicken and egg problem. Maybe so I definitely agree कि issues के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, but maybe why they aren't showing football, Pakistani football or Pakistani athletics or Pakistani hockey or stuff like that is because कि activity वगैरह नहीं हो रही, and they're like यार कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा तो हम क्या दिखाएं, and why would people be interested, and cricket पे focus लोग इसीलिए करते हैं क्योंकि cricket की activity हो रही होती है, and obviously hype बनी होती है cricket की activity दिखा के, तो people are more interested. But since बाकी sports की activity नहीं है, वो दिखाए नहीं जाते, उसकी hype नहीं बनती, and then people are not interested in the content as well. Would you think that's a credible opinion to have?
Chicken and the egg वाला कि जब थोड़ा बहुत इस पे आप इस तरफ आएंगे, when you start questioning the federation, right, कि भाई इतनी फंडिंग आई वो कहाँ गई, तो वो खुद ही इवेंट स्टार्ट कर देंगे, you know, and people want to know कि भाई अगर PFF को इतने पैसे मिले बाहर से तो वो FIFA ने फंडिंग की तो वो कहाँ गए, right? I would love to know कि भाई क्या हुआ उसका, अच्छे पैसे PO है वो उनसे पूछा जाए कि भाई जो फंडिंग आ रही थी आपने क्या किया उसका. I'm sure, like, again, there's so many sports enthusiasts out there like yourself, many other people who want to know answers to these questions. So once that starts, ये जितनी भी फेडरेशन हैं खुद ही एक्टिविटीज कराना शुरू करा देंगी. And एक और चीज ये in these 14-15 years of broadcasting sports, Allah ka shukr, I've been very lucky to be able to travel abroad and locally as well. आप यकीन करें जो आपके छोटे शहर है ना, उसमें इतनी स्पोर्ट्स खेली जाती है, इतनी स्पोर्ट्स, और सारी बैडमिंटन हो गया, स्क्वॉश हो गया, अगर कोर्ट्स अवेलेबल हैं, एंड फुटबॉल खेली जाती है, फिर उनके लोकल वहीं के अलग जो इलाकों के स्पोर्ट्स होते हैं वो, अगर हम सिंध में जाते हैं मलाकड़ा एक चीज़ होती है, ट्रेडिशनल स्पोर्ट, इतनी एक्टिविटी होती है। और मैं इसीलिए कहता हूँ आप महीने का एक शो दे दें, अभी तो वो भी नहीं हो रहा, महीने का एक दे दें या 15 days में एक शो दे दें, and you see how things start changing, and once the momentum starts, I don't think there'll be anything to stop that.
Yeah, I agree. एक इसके अंदर यही मसला है कि आपको भी पता है फेडरेशन के प्रेसिडेंट्स कौन हैं, आपको भी पता है कौन से लोग उधर आते हैं यूजुअली, और आपको भी पता है कि उस तरह के लोग अपने ख़िलाफ़ बातें नहीं सुनना चाहते और ना ही चाहते हैं कि कोई और सुने. तो दैट इज़ आई थिंक द मेन हर्डल वाई unfortunately we can't have those issues discussed as openly as we would like, but hopefully चीज़ change हो. What's your journey been like to sort of, आपने कहा मैं 14-15 years से इस industry में हूँ, how did it start and how has it led up to now you being the host of Kickoff on PTV Sports?
I started off in 2006. Towards the end of 2006, I was still at college, and Dawn Media Group was coming up with their first English language 24-hour news channel. तो उस वक्त मेरे जो टीचर थे organization theory जो मेरा मॉड्यूल था उसके वजह से ये था, he's established name in Pakistani and also international media. He was my professor, and he actually suggested to me that you have enough free time, so you can study as well at the same time, apply here, and you can start off as a researcher. There will be good pocket money for you. I think I was 20 years old. Manik, of course, why not? It'll be good way of utilization of my time. And of course, at that age, you know, you love even little bit of money which comes your way.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And I was very, very lucky. Allah ka shukr to all my bosses who really encouraged me. And Dawn ki ye policy thi कि they wanted to क्या कहते हैं, within the organization, within the people which they had, they wanted to make presenters and anchors out of them. And my news editor back then saw that this boy is only interested in sports and nothing else. So उन्होंने मुझे encourage किया कि भाई तुम sports पे ही रहो and start presenting the news and reporting the news. So although my major is in economics and management, but I never worked for that. And इतना मजा आना इसमें शुरू हो गया कि then I became a presenter, a reporter, and then just one thing led to another. So I was with the Dawn Media Group for 4 years, the English language news channel. Then that became Urdu, and I was on the Urdu side for 6 months as well. Then uske baad I was very lucky, Allah ka shukr, I got a chance to work for the biggest news channel in Pakistan, that's Jio News. Wahan pe I was with them for again 3.5-4 years. Then I took a small break and got extremely lucky during that break. I got a chance to work with CNN International on their sports desk. अभी आपने जो PSG का भी जो देखा, Messi going to PSG, तो जो टीम, जो CNN की टीम जो थी जिसने इसको कवर किया, Amanda Davies जिन्होंने इंटरव्यू किया, I was working directly with her. I was very lucky to work with that team as well. Yeah. And उनके जो producer हैं, I was basically part of that team. तो जब मेरा उनके साथ contract खत्म, I came back to Pakistan and I thought कि अब I'll probably join the family business or something and I'll take a break from media. But then PTV Sports happened, and yeah, there I am. And PTV Sports में भी I was doing all the sports. बल्कि मैंने जो डॉक्टर फरमान यहाँ से उनसे मैंने कहा था कि मुझे क्रिकेट बिल्कुल नहीं करनी, आप मुझे प्लीज बाकी स्पोर्ट्स करवाएं. So he gave me the opportunity, and for I think a good 1.5-2 years, I was covering all the sports under the sun in Pakistan जो खेले जाते हैं यहाँ पे. और उसके बाद जब once again PTV secured the rights for the Premier League, so that's when they said कि we would like a football show as well और इसको आप करें. So I'm doing football, but for me every sport which is played here is equally क्या कहते हैं is the same for me, and I like covering every sport. It's not just football.
Yeah, that's a great journey. I think आपने अपना passion ढूंढा है now, and obviously through your competence वो दरवाजे खुले हैं which have led to where you are right now. हमने भी बात की थी कि पाकिस्तानी फुटबॉल लाइक यू वर सेइंग कि आधा घंटा भी दे दो तो रिस्पांस वगैरह आएगा. मार्केटिंग सेल्स वाले अंडर एस्टिमेट करते हैं रिस्पांस. व्हाट इज़ द रिस्पांस एंड द रिसेप्शन टू योर शो बिन लाइक, and how is it, like, are you seeing a trend in the sort of response that you're getting recently?
Oh, absolutely. The feedback is phenomenal, right? I'm learning so much. Once the show is finished, we get immediate instant feedback from social media, and that's learning from me each time as well. काफी fans जो हैं बड़े अच्छे points raise करते हैं जो हम next time फिर उसको discuss भी करते हैं हमारे show पे. So that definitely happens. And उसके साथ साथ of course not just mainstream media, guys like yourself and I would say I think एक डेढ़ साल पहले ग्रेनेड यूनिवर्सिटी के कुछ स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उन्होंने मुझे इनवाइट किया था फॉर अ शो लाइक योर्स. वो भी फुटबॉल की बात करते हैं एंड उनकी भी अच्छी बात है, वो बाकी स्पोर्ट्स भी करते हैं. तो आप लोगों की तरह इतने सारे ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स बन गए हैं टॉकिंग अबाउट पाकिस्तानी स्पोर्ट्स एंड पाकिस्तानी फुटबॉल that I think we all belong in the collective ecosystem of sports in Pakistan and playing our part, to get the sport to as many people as possible and covering the game. So it's fantastic to see, and I think you guys are the future. हमें आपसे ज़्यादा सीखना है कि जो आप लोग कर रहे हैं.
Yeah, no. I think you're being too humble there. Altamish bhai, last thing that I want to talk to you about is what's next for Kickoff. And yourself, obviously, हमारी बात इस तरह शुरू हुई थी for people who don't know कि I sort of wanted to catch Kickoff and for once I wasn't able to because वो timing नहीं match हो रहे थे. So I suggested that it's better for the show and for viewers if you put it up on YouTube. Obviously, we had that discussion. But what's next, do you think, to take it into the digital ecosystem as well, where I think the reception and the response is going to be even better for you, I imagine?
I completely agree. And suggestions jaise aapne diye mein, we've been telling the management since then, and even in fact since before then, it's very, very important for our shows to be on social media, and they are trying as well. Again, PTV is such a huge organization that it, with the bureaucracy, it takes time to get everything in place. So ab unhone recently PTV News ko unhone HD kar diya hai, and they're trying to get all their programming onto their YouTube channel. So I'm really hoping that after PTV News, it's going to be PTV Sports. And जो इस्लामाबाद में टीम बैठी है वो अब इस चीज़ पर concentrate करेगी PTV Sports पे after PTV News. So that's very, very important. Without a doubt, shows need to be on social media platforms, and that's where the main viewership is. If we miss भी करते तो they can have a watch once we are done with the main airtime.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I hope for the same thing, Altamish bhai. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show and for switching roles for once. You've always been the host for all these years. It's been great talking to you about all these different things. And I think for sure, whenever you're in Lahore, obviously Karachi is pretty far away, but whenever you're in Lahore, please do drop down to the studio, come by. It'd be great to have you and talk to you again in person whenever you're around. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Pressing Matters, brought to you on the mic. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch us on social media. Follow us on social media. This has been Altamish Jiwa. This has been Ismail Farooq. And until next time, take it easy.